What does it take for a man who has everything, wealth, power, and fame, to realize that he has nothing? Imagine a life where private jets, luxury yachts, and billion-dollar deals are the norm, yet an emptiness gnaws at your soul. This is the story of Alejandro Vargas, a Spanish billionaire who traded the glittering world of material success for the profound peace of Islam. But how does a man who seemingly has it all come to the realization that he has nothing? What leads someone to abandon the comforts of wealth and power for a life of faith and humility? And what happens when that decision shocks the world? Alejandro Vargas was a name synonymous with success. Born into a wealthy family in Barcelona, he was groomed for greatness from an early age. His father, a real estate mogul, and his mother, a descendant of Spanish nobility, instilled in him the values of ambition, hard work, and the pursuit of excellence. Alejandro's education was nothing short of elite. Private schools in Europe, Ivy League universities in the United States, and a network of influential connections that spanned the globe. By his early 30s, Alejandro had built a business empire that spanned real estate, technology, and finance. He was a billionaire, a philanthropist, and a household name in Europe. Yet, despite his achievements, Alejandro felt an emptiness that no amount of wealth or success could fill. Alejandro's journey to Islam began not in a mosque or a religious gathering, but in the unlikeliest of places, a business meeting in Dubai. It was there that he met a Turkish businessman, Mehmet, who would unknowingly become the catalyst for Alejandro's spiritual awakening. Mehmet was unlike anyone Alejandro had ever met. He was successful, yes, but there was a calmness about him, a sense of peace that Alejandro couldn't quite understand. During their meetings, Mehmet would excuse himself to pray, no matter how busy or important the discussion. At first, Alejandro found it peculiar. How could someone so successful prioritize prayer over business? Curiosity got the better of him. One day, after a particularly intense negotiation, Alejandro asked Mehmet about his faith. Mehmet smiled and said, "Success in this world means nothing if you lose yourself in the process. Islam teaches me to balance both." Those words lingered in Alejandro's mind. He began to read about Islam, starting with the Quran. He was struck by its simplicity and depth, the emphasis on monotheism, justice, and the afterlife. He found himself drawn to the concept of Tawheed, the oneness of God, which resonated with his own search for meaning. But it wasn't just the theology that captivated him. It was the way Islam permeated every aspect of life: business, family, charity, and personal conduct. Alejandro began to see his own life in a new light. He realized that his wealth and success were not ends in themselves, but means to a greater purpose. Alejandro's journey to Islam wasn't without its challenges. His decision to convert shocked his family, friends, and business associates. Some accused him of abandoning his roots, while others questioned his motives. But Alejandro remained steadfast. He began to implement Islamic principles in his business, avoiding interest-based transactions and ensuring that his investments were ethical and socially responsible. He also became more involved in philanthropy, using his wealth to support education, healthcare, and poverty alleviation. But the most profound change was within Alejandro himself. He found a sense of peace and purpose that had eluded him for years. He began to pray 5 times a day, fast during Ramadan, and give generously to charity. His life, once defined by material success, was now centered on faith and service. Alejandro's conversion to Islam didn't just change his life, it also challenged the status quo. As a prominent figure in the business world, his decision to embrace Islam sent shockwaves through the corporate elite. Some praised him for his courage, while others criticized him for what they saw as a betrayal of his heritage. But Alejandro was undeterred. He used his platform to promote interfaith dialogue and understanding. He spoke openly about his journey, sharing his experiences and insights with others. He became a symbol of hope and inspiration for those searching for meaning in their own lives. Spending time with family, sharing simple moments of joy, Alejandro began to rediscover the essence of happiness. It was in these moments that he felt truly alive. The journey was far from over, but Alejandro was beginning to understand that true wealth was not measured in dollars and cents, but in the richness of human connection and the depth of personal fulfillment. A routine business trip took Alejandro to Dubai. He was there to negotiate a major real estate deal, another trophy for his collection. It was during this trip that he met Mehmet, a Turkish businessman. Mehmet was different. Despite his own considerable success, he carried himself with a quiet dignity and an unshakable calmness that intrigued Alejandro. Mehmet's life was not ruled by the relentless pursuit of wealth. He prayed regularly, his faith a guiding principle in both his personal and professional life. This fascinated Alejandro. He had never considered faith as a driving force, let alone in the cutthroat world of business. The encounter left a mark on Alejandro. Could this be the answer to the emptiness he felt? Alejandro returned from Dubai, his curiosity piqued. The vibrant culture and the rich history of the city had left a lasting impression on him. He found himself drawn to Islam, researching its tenets, its history, its message. He spent countless hours delving into books, articles, and online resources, eager to understand the essence of this faith. The simplicity of its message, the oneness of God, resonated deeply with him. The idea that there was a single, all-powerful deity who was both merciful and just was profoundly appealing. The concept of Tawhid, the absolute singularity of God, appealed to his logical mind. It provided a clear and unambiguous understanding of divinity, free from the complexities and contradictions he saw in other religions. Here was a faith free from the complexities and contradictions he saw in other religions. The more he read, the more he appreciated the clarity and coherence of Islamic teachings. The more he learned about Islam, the more he admired its emphasis on justice, compassion, and equality. He was particularly moved by the stories of the Prophet Muhammad and his unwavering commitment to these principles. He was particularly struck by the Islamic principles of ethical business practices, charity, and social responsibility. These values aligned perfectly with his own beliefs and aspirations. These resonated with his growing desire for a life of greater purpose. He began to see how these principles could guide him towards a more meaningful and fulfilling existence. He saw in Islam a path to personal fulfillment and a way to make a real difference in the world. The faith offered him a framework for living a life of integrity, compassion, and purpose, and he felt a deep sense of peace and contentment as he embraced these teachings. Alejandro's journey into Islam was a deeply personal one. It was a path he never anticipated taking, but one that ultimately brought him profound peace and clarity. He began reading the Quran, the holy book of Islam, finding solace and guidance in its verses. The words resonated with him on a level he had never experienced before, offering answers to questions he had long pondered. He started attending prayers at a local mosque, drawn to the sense of community and shared purpose he found there. The mosque became a sanctuary, a place where he could connect with others who shared his newfound faith and values. The more he immersed himself in Islam, the more certain he became. His faith provided a foundation that anchored him, giving him a sense of direction and purpose that had been missing from his life. His newfound faith began to permeate every aspect of his life. He found himself praying more frequently, seeking moments of quiet reflection, and adopting Islamic practices that brought him closer to his spiritual goals. He started making changes to his business practices, ensuring they aligned with Islamic principles of fairness and ethical conduct. This meant re-evaluating his decisions, treating his employees with greater respect, and conducting his business with integrity. He increased his philanthropic efforts, focusing on projects that promoted education, healthcare, and poverty alleviation. Alejandro believed that his success should be used to benefit others, and he dedicated more time and resources to charitable causes. He was no longer driven by profit alone, but by a desire to make a meaningful contribution to the world. Alejandro's journey was not just about personal transformation, it was about making a positive impact on the lives of those around him, guided by the principles of his faith. Facing the music. Alejandro's conversion to Islam was met with mixed reactions. His family, steeped in generations of Catholic tradition, were shocked and dismayed. Some friends questioned his sanity, wondering how someone so wealthy and successful could embrace a religion often misunderstood in the West. The business world, his natural habitat, reacted with a mixture of curiosity and skepticism. He faced criticism, ridicule, and even accusations of betraying his heritage. Some business associates distanced themselves, fearing his new faith would impact his business acumen. Yet Alejandro stood firm. He had found something far more valuable than wealth or social standing. He had found his truth, finding serenity in submission. Despite the challenges, Alejandro found an inner peace he had never known before. The emptiness that had haunted him was replaced with a sense of purpose and belonging. He found solace in prayer, in the rhythm of daily rituals, in the community of fellow believers. His life, once defined by material pursuits, was now centered around faith and service. He no longer felt the need to chase after fleeting pleasures. His wealth, once the yardstick of his success, now became a tool to help others. He found joy in simplicity, in gratitude, in the knowledge that he was on the right path. His life was a testament to the transformative power of faith. A ripple effect. Alejandro's conversion did not go unnoticed. His story, the billionaire who found faith, resonated with many. People were drawn to his sincerity, his humility, and his genuine desire to use his wealth for good. He became an unlikely ambassador for Islam, breaking down stereotypes and fostering understanding. His story sparked conversations, challenging preconceived notions about wealth, faith, and what it truly means to be successful. He used his platform to promote interfaith dialogue, emphasizing the common ground between different religions. His journey became an inspiration to others, demonstrating that true fulfillment comes not from material possessions, but from spiritual enlightenment. Redefining success. Alejandro's transformation forced people to reconsider their own definitions of success. Could it be that true success lay not in the accumulation of wealth, but in the richness of one's spirit? His life was a powerful reminder that material possessions were fleeting, while true fulfillment came from a higher purpose. He showed that one could be both incredibly successful in the material world and deeply spiritual. He challenged the notion that wealth and faith were mutually exclusive. Instead, he demonstrated how wealth, when guided by faith, could be a powerful tool for positive change, a testament to faith. Alejandro Vargas's journey from billionaire to believer is a testament to the power of faith to transform lives. His story is a beacon of hope, reminding us that it is never too late to find our path, to seek a life of meaning and purpose. It is a story that transcends cultural and religious boundaries, speaking to the universal human longing for something greater than ourselves. Alejandro Vargas's journey from worldly wealth to the light of Islam is a testament to the transformative power of faith. It is a story of courage, humility, and the relentless pursuit of truth. It reminds us that true success is not measured by material wealth, but by the impact we have on the world and the peace we find within ourselves. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, the greatest journey is the one that leads you back to yourself.